Well, let's take a look at the news stories just in the last couple weeks of dad being the bear. Dad's the bear. Dad. Now, I promise I'm not doing this to be depressing or any of that stuff, but I feel like we are in this moment and have been for a while of how dangerous dads are. They are. You know, like we had men are dangerous at work. The Me Too was very work specific. But now we're starting to finally realize that dad, I mean, it's not like this is nothing new, but we have to face it. Now they've been hiding behind being dad to avoid, crazy allegations like eating people or wanting to. But some people are finally realizing that it's dad or the father of your children that's doing all this and does it to the actual children too. That it's dads who are going and who are, schmooicide terrorists who drive a dumb truck to Vegas. That dads will even literally be vampires and take their children's blood. I am going to do a deep dive on this guy again because, oh my God, I watched that documentary. Wow! That it's dads who seem very upset that they have to pay child support that causes them to be so angry at everyone, but especially women and those stupid bitches who are making them pay to be dads, who will then terrorize an entire city and unalive a bunch of people and then hide behind whatever. I'm not done with my deep dive. I did the other dude, but okay, I promise I'm gonna finish this one. But these men in the chats, most of them are dads. I don't know if most of them are, but a lot more than people realize. And dads, these protectors, are also sharing with other men, but dads, how to do this to their wives and other family members. And this is just one. It took a year-long investigation by a German broadcaster to find this one. But you know what? They were already telling each other how to where to find each other to join a new one. This one's gonna get shut down. Let's go find another place to give each other how to sedate your partners and share links on online shops where members can buy feminism disguised as hair product. So this wasn't, it was just kind of a coincidence that this came out at the end of the Dominique Pellico trial. And, the AI moderators on Telegraph apparently aren't very good. Shocker. Ask any woman or anyone marginalized who does content on any of these platforms how great AI moderators are. But I want to touch on a few of the cases that I just read in the last 2 days about dads and how they can get their innocent little children dead out of either just negligence or or just outright unaliving them through neglect, or I'm not even sure in this case. So let's start with this horrifying case. And the reason why I'm going into this is, again, because so many men talk about wanting to be dads. They don't want to be dads. They want the social capital of being fathers. They want the raises they get as being fathers. They want to baby trap women. They want all kinds of things, but many of them do not want to parent. And you know why I am going so hard on dads lately? As somebody who was raised by a father who was also the protector, was actually the threat. Okay, and did unspeakable harm that took me decades to work through. I actually finally experienced what an amazing father is like. My father-in-law has made me realize what it is to feel protected and unconditionally loved. And that has radicalized me into holding dads accountable because, I just assumed all dads just suck, So, some of my mutuals, they had amazing fathers, and I love their content because they're not coming out of a place of lived experiences of trauma from their fathers. They're like, hey, I'm pissed that y'all don't get to experience this. I feel like I'm in this really unique position where I was in the wow, this is what happened. Like, this is what a lot of people's reality is. And then getting a taste of what some of my mutuals talk about. Cecilia Regina talks about this all the time. She adores her father. Who else? I've got several mutuals who had amazing dads, who have amazing dads, still present in their life. Most of people I know, well, people with my experiences with DV and blah, blah, blah. A lot of us came from, like, it's like, whatever, what's new? So I'm in this weird place where now I feel like going hard on dads because of like, not from a place of like trauma, but from a place of what it feels like to be loved. And I can't believe even more how awful fathers are. Because now I have something to compare it to on a personal level. And it pisses me off. So this little girl, let's just, hold on. I'm going to buckle up. Also, if you are, I don't know where you're watching this, but please follow me on the YouTube. It's probably where you're watching this. Thank you, YouTube people. I adore you. Because the other app's going away and I haven't really been as present on that one anyway. Follow my Patreon, please. That's where I do lives. That's what pays my bills these days. That's where I do travel content, very personal stories. I'm not ready to talk about publicly yet. All kinds of stuff we have. And we're going to have watch parties soon. Just had my first one like a week ago, and it was super fun. So this little 3-year-old girl named Kingsley is gone. And honestly, I can't decide if this was an actual accident or if it was her dad did this on purpose, because it's such a weird story. But basically on December 27th, the police got a call from a panicked father who said that his 3-year-old daughter was dead. Now, what I find really horrifying, this is the first time this child has ever stayed at this home. I am not going to blame what the father did on the mother, but I will I make a lot of my content because I want mothers mothers, stepmothers, grandmothers even, or just anybody who is taking care of children. I need you to understand how dangerous men are. And sometimes it is just lack of, I don't know, common sense, but like, I need women to get more uncomfortable with leaving their children with men who were just sperm donors. As somebody who, a lot of the stuff that happened to me was because I was visiting my father without another adult, I am telling you, please stop visiting, letting your children stay with the sperm donor when he does not have, I don't care. And I know the courts make this happen. I know the courts, as much as like dad to Chad to dad or whatever that, there's a video coming about that guy, the man, the passport bro. As much as they all love to say that the courts are sexist and that, no, they're usually, look what Brad Pitt did. For 8 years, he dragged his entire family through the courts. And I probably only ended it because he wants to get married to another younger woman and, start a whole new family. Like, fork off kids. All right, I'm done. I'm done torturing Angie. Whatever. So this little girl was spending time, was going to meet her family. Look at this little girl. Look at her. First time ever staying at her father's apartment. At 7:50 a.m. on Friday, he stumbled upon a horrifying scene, telling police it did not appear to be a break-in because the doors are still locked. Dispatchers told him to put away the pets in the home before authorities arrived on the scene, to which he responded that all 3 dogs, they're actually like pit bulls basically, were already in their cages. That's why I'm like, did any of my pets attack her or something? I would have heard this. Would you though? So even if he did, he didn't hear this happen. He did not hear 3 pit bulls maul his daughter to death. Didn't hear it. Were you high? What is wrong with you? How could you not hear that? And why? This is the worst part. Not the worst part, but this is like one of the most enraging details. That little girl was sleeping on the couch. Her daddy was in his big old bed, door shut. First time ever this child is sleeping there, and he leaves her out to sleep on the couch with the dogs. The dogs. But yeah, these were like pit bull variants, whatever. Now, the boyfriend of the mother said, were these dogs were over 100 pounds? They just sit on her like, this little girl was mauled so bad they would not let the mother see her body. Think about that. So, one thing I would never wish upon any mother is getting called by the police and then basically the coroner not letting you see see your daughter, their body. Like, how can this man have not heard anything? I keep trying to find more information on this, but apparently there was a home security camera in the living room which shows the daughter sleeping on the couch. On the couch. Now, this is the only statement that I've heard so far. He is devastated and understands all of her mom and mom's family's feelings and is very sorry. Okay. This is a nightmare as he just learned that Kingsley was his daughter. He was so excited for her to spend time with him and meet her sister and family. He feels that it is his fault and for not being able to protect. It is his fault. There's no question about that. It's his fault. It's his fault. Like, what is this? He literally just met his child. So, I don't know the story behind that. He just learned that she was his daughter. But I'm not going to blame the mother for what the father did. But at the same time, please stop trusting men. He just found out this is his daughter. He has clearly no parenting experience. Put her on a couch. That is so selfish. That is so selfish that she sleeps on a couch in a room with 3 dogs, not in, what do you call it? Not the cage, the carriers or whatever. Crates. Not crated. Pit bulls. And you know what? I've known so many pit bulls in my life, and I love pit bulls. But I'm also terrified of pit bulls. I did a whole video on pets and people's legitimate fear of dogs. And maybe some people should be a little more afraid of dogs, because at the end of the day, as much as I love dogs, when I was at a animal shelter volunteering in Taos, New Mexico, literally just walking across the grounds, a pit bull, I'm sure was abused. It was there for like 2 years. The place is full of pit bulls. And it's usually men who want pit bulls and men who starve these dogs and treat them terribly or whatever. There's a whole conversation around men using dogs to it's like a pew pew with 4 legs. It's like, look at me, don't whatever. But I'm terrified of pit bulls now after getting bit and I was walking across the yard and it literally fought its way out of a cage and just attacked me. I've never even seen this dog. So I'm sorry, I love pit bulls. They're one of my favorite breeds, and I'm also terrified of them at the same time. But you know what I would never do is leave a 3-year-old in a room alone with pit bulls, especially overnight. Like, what the hell? So, yeah. Gone. I saw some tweets from people that made really good points. 7:50 a.m. is too late to be waking up when you have a baby in your house asleep. Especially if you haven't checked on that child in the night or earlier in the morning. So there's a lot of people speculating about, did he, what time did this child go to bed? Why weren't you checking on her? How could you not hear? There's no way this child did not scream or something terrible. There's no that anybody, but especially a 3-year-old child, mauled to the point where they are unrecognizable or not even allowed to be seen by their mother, and there's blood all over the floor. How did he not hear that? That's what I want to know. Was he on something? Was he gone? Did he leave her there alone? What was he doing? There's no way he didn't hear this unless there was something else going on. How can you not hear in a 1-bedroom apartment right outside your door all this happening? Some people have speculated that something else is going on. Maybe he purposely left that child out there to be mauled because maybe he did something else to her. Someone else posted that there was a 2-year-old who was unalived by the family's pit right behind this story. Please stop leaving your children with dogs. Alone with dogs, especially, they're still animals at the end of the day, y'all. I love my dog, but I do not let him around children. Unaccompanied, I don't let children come up and pet him because I don't know his nature. I've had him for over 4 years. I don't know what he did before. I don't know, and at the end of the day, you can't predict dogs' behavior. So it's my job as a dog owner to protect vulnerable people and the public at large from my dog, just in case. And you know, this dopey dog, he looks like he's high all the time. He's so chill, but he's actually a very anxious dog. Like you know what I mean? Like, and every once in a while he sees a dog and he just hates it and he starts some shit with a dog. He's a lab. So, and also, why did he wait to call the cops after the dogs were in the cages already? Like, what happened in all this time? That's what I want to know. Oh, see his eye? Y'all, we've gone to the vet 3 times now. We don't know what it is, but it's definitely not an eye infection. Now, again, I'm not saying blaming the mother for this, but she does have a part in this. What were you doing? What were you doing? Please stop trusting children with men who have not earned respect, earned your trust. We keep giving men the benefit of the doubt, even though historically, why? I know that's what we've been taught to do, but please stop thinking that men are just, they're just going to be a good dad. They're going to know what to do, that they have no, bad intentions whatsoever. Don't leave them unaccompanied unless they have a track record of being the same way you would never leave. Gen X can say something different, but in general, we know that you shouldn't just leave children with strangers or a babysitter or family members that haven't been vetted. Why would you do that with a dad? Just because he knocked off inside of you. You know what I mean? Because that's usually what it's like, right? Knocked off inside. He's not even making love or whatever. I mean, there's just been dad, great dad. Sorry, one last thing on this before I move to the next great dad. This is a serious issue, y'all. As a dog lover myself, I am telling you, please stop humanizing dogs in this way. They're like, they're just the babysitter. They my dog, whatever. I really love pit bulls, but it's the owners that make it so that people are terrified of them. In my personal opinion, I don't think if you're going to have a pit bull, you should treat that as if you have a loaded pew-pew in your house. Take precautions. Assume it could do the worst. And I say that I love pit bulls, y'all. You know what? In our apartment, we're not allowed to have pit bulls. That's the one breed of dogs we are not allowed to have. And I used to think that was so unfair, but then at the same time, I understand because he has been attacked by multiple pit bulls where I literally had to kick them to get off of him. So I'm just saying. It sucks that the dogs are suffering from the poor human dog whatever, but don't leave them with little kids. Like this little girl, she wasn't afraid of dogs either. There's all these photos on the internet of her with dogs. Anyway, this is the other thing I came across yesterday. Stop trusting men with your children. If they have any reason for you not to trust them, stop trusting them. And I know that's hard because a lot of times women don't have childcare, they don't have support, they don't have money, they don't have all these things. I don't know what the solution is, but all I know is that men can't be trusted with children. I guess don't have them, or make sure you can. I actually believe this. If you are not prepared to be a single mom, don't have children. If you're depending on a man and their help, because half of them aren't going to parent, they're just going to help. Don't have children if you're not prepared to be a single mom. Because if they stick around, I am so tired of reading of stories of a child being left in a car. That whole story is a nightmare. And the mother, he literally did that multiple times and the mother still trusted her with the children. So that's on her too. I'm so tired of hearing of stories of dads, of children dying because of women trusting men. That's the men's fault. But I'm telling you, we have to stop trusting men. They're not good leaders. They're terrible protectors. They don't understand the dangers of men as much as we do, or the dangers in themselves. Because this man, look at this, good father. He had just picked up his daughter from daycare because she wasn't feeling well. Imagine her being sick or not feeling well, and then dad goes to pick her up, and then she dies. He reassured his wife that they'd be fine, but a friend spotted him in a store buying alcohol because he had an alcohol problem, which the wife knew about. So he calls the police to do a welfare check. They found him in a field with his daughter on his lap. No car seat. Why is he picking her up? He has no car seat. Oh, wait, I forgot this part. The child's mother called him asking him to bring the daughter home. When he refused, telling her she'll be fine, she called the police. So that's why they did the wellness check. Look at this. The father drowned down 30 beers. So then they find him in this field. His daughter's sitting in his there's so many, I have more questions than answers about this. But basically, the cops found him in the field. When they tried to take his child from him, he refused and drove off. I guess he went over an embankment and into a river. It took emergency crews 90 minutes to reach the deceased Johnson, who was found trapped inside the vehicle with his rear window smashed. They believe that Addison had gone out through the window. But look at this. Her body wasn't recovered until April, a month after this tragedy. They found her in a beaver dam. Oh my God. A month. Imagine this mother. Oh my God. Okay, this is the part, and I understand like the cognitive dissonance or whatever this is. I understand why they're doing it. But the way women will go and be like, he was a great dad. Look at this. I think they're quoting the mother here. She called him a good father and had comfort knowing that they were together. But the pain of what she lost was always with her. They're together. That's not how I would frame it. Just to give you like a little peek into the mind of someone who probably should have been going to Al-Anon or one of those 12-step programs that like deals with people who love alcoholics. Oh, well, she's with her dad who killed her. She talks about, when I go to Walmart, I get triggered by all the baby stuff, blah, blah, blah. I swear to God, y'all, as somebody who's going through this currently with women who are still caping for dead men in my family, I'm like, you're just going to protect his image and even when he's dead. This is how we're conditioned, and this does so much harm, y'all. And I know she's talking to the press, and maybe she's in shock still or whatever, but like, this was years ago, by the way. But, people honk their horn when they go by. Look at this. A father of 5 from his first marriage. What a great dad. What a great dad. Father of 5, so father of 6, and then unalived his final child with himself in this horrific way. So yeah, father of 6, he drove off a 30-foot embankment into the water after cops tried to take away the child because he'd been drinking. So why am I saying all this? I just want you to, this makes him look like a very highly respected man who's well together, he's protector. This delusion around fathers. We just love seeing these photos like, oh, look. Must be a safe man. Must be a good person because he holds a baby. But this Las Vegas dude, the schmoozer side, left his, cheated on the allegedly cheated on the baby mom, his wife. I think they were married. I forget. I've already done that story. Too much information in my head right now. Cheated. She kicked him out right after Christmas. So, of course, he cheated on her. Calls the ex, wants all these exes, calls the ex, hey, and then goes and terrorizes the public. Good dad. And then there's this dad. Well, this is not the dad. If you haven't seen it, I watched this video. It is so hard to watch these videos when you know the outcome. But if you haven't seen this, Jennifer Sheffield, every time I watch one, I'll click on the link from the source that I'm reading about this. And when I go to their TikTok page, I'm always horrified to hit on their profile. I was like, oh my God, please, I'm like, oh, was this person following me? Did I know this person in my comments? Because even though I don't know, I have a lot of followers, right? And I don't know anybody who comments. I don't know most people who follow my stuff. I don't know you, thank you for being here, but I don't know you. And I'm like, And yet I get to know people in the comments, you know, like especially on YouTube, because y'all leave such amazing long stories. And then sometimes people have just disappeared, and I'm like, either I pissed them off, or like maybe they're dead. Maybe their husband, like I worry about people I don't even know. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, do I know her? And she wasn't following me, so she probably never saw my stuff. I probably don't know her, but I don't know. There's just like this weird thing where I'm like, it's so hard to see these stories. It's so hard to watch this video. She talked about they're getting a divorce. She's going to be on her own. If you haven't seen it, this is a really hard, especially if you're a DV survivor, to watch this story and see her. Because the thing is, I don't know if this man was actually violent or not. Everyone claims he was, and he could have been super violent. Maybe that's why they're breaking up. But also what this could have been is literally no red flags in terms of literal violence, but they clearly weren't getting along. And it seems like she may have genuinely believed that they were having an amicable divorce. And then he just could have snapped. I mean, we know men's egos take a hit because now they're a failure. But you know, I did look up his profile. So I don't know. But the way that the women in his life are caping for him and trying to have them together in a funeral when he literally took her life. Okay. So just for really quick, she went on the internet and announced that they're getting divorced. It's amicable. They're doing it for their daughter. And she just said one, so I'm confused because there were two. But anyway, and she's talking about how great her husband's being and how she's scared to be a single mom because, you know, she's never had to rely entirely just on herself to do this. And she was studying to be a doctor. You know, I think she's like maybe I forget her job. I'll look it up in a second. She was asking for advice. How do you do this alone as a mom? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and then 2 weeks later, she's dead. Her, and then himself. She praised what an incredible husband. Like famous last words, I swear. They don't humiliate you on the internet. If men don't humiliate you in the news, online, and the internet, and believe me, I come from a family where men have made headlines for humiliating my family. Anyway, one day I'm going to talk about all of it, y'all. I'm just waiting for some people to die. That sounds terrible. Like I'm not wishing for them to die, but I will be talking way more with time. But woo! Oh, y'all, I have my family. Wow. Anyway, he's 40, she's 30. I'm not sure how long they've been together, but yeah, that's a 10-year age gap. They have 2 daughters. I don't know. Anytime I see an age gap that big, like they're divorcing when she's 30. So my guess, I swear to God, y'all, I don't have anything wrong with certain age gaps, but it depends on how big the age gap is and at what year you met. But please stop going like when you're women in your 20s, please stop dating these men in their like mid to late 30s, 40s or beyond. I promise you, it is usually not going to turn out well for you. Does it mean that dating younger men is not dangerous as well? Dating men at all is dangerous. But there's a mindset of men who want younger women, and it's usually because they know that they can be more easily manipulated due to just lack of terrible life experiences with men. So she was like, she did this whole video. I'm about to be a newly single mom. I'm in the middle of a divorce. My husband's incredible. Though, really and truly, we're working together. Everything is great. We're splitting everything down the middle. Having a very civil divorce with our daughter in mind. She's talking about how she's so grateful that she's not going to have to worry about how to support her. However, I will be on a very limited income and buying a new house and paying a mortgage and all that stuff. I've never done this before. I've never been on my own before. This makes me think that they met when she was young. Y'all, please don't date or don't marry men, especially if you've never lived on your own. Because leaving that man will require so much more courage than a woman who has lived on her own, truly lived on her own. She asked if anyone had any tips on saving money, making money, because I'm a little scared right now. That was such a vulnerable video. Her friend went on the record saying, yeah, he's never been a violent person that I was aware of. You know, I was there when they met, and I've always loved him for how he loved her. So I'm trying to understand. So this is either she wasn't talking to her friend or anybody about what was happening, or this man was one of those passive violent men, right? All it took, you know, there may have been micro kind of stuff. There may have been stuff, but he was a gun nut. And that's what I want to talk about now. So I'm not the only one who has questions about why are they not talking about the other daughter? But I want to show you part of the obituary. I mean, I get it. They're going to say this. Of course they're going to say this. But just, it's enraging, y'all. Look. He was the devoted father who cherished his daughters, Kylie and Grace, as they were truly his world. They were so much his world that he did this to himself and their mother, his wife, because they were still, not divorced yet. They're going through a divorce. He did this in front of one of their children. I mean, I don't know if the child was watched it, but the child was in the home. The selfishness of that alone. Good dad. He cherished her more than anything. Cherished her so much. Both of them so much that did it in the home with one and took away now they're orphans. They were truly his world though. He spent countless moments enjoying life with his family, which brought him immense happiness. He is survived by his mother and brother. His connections with family and friends are deep, and he was known for being a great brother, uncle, and friend. Now, Jennifer is preceded in death by her husband. I mean, I know that that's how they phrase things, but there's a whole GoFundMe for them, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what I've seen several people tweet about. The family is forcing a joint funeral. And I like this take. Even when men, unalive people, will protect them. I would disown every single family member that was okay with this. These family members get you unalived. They enable abuse, cut them out of your life. And that includes women. And y'all, I've made plenty of posts about this. A lot of times people are like, why do you blame everything on men? Why don't you hold women accountable? Are you kidding me? Do you know how much I talk about women enabling men? Women who enable men, even when men are dead, they center them, enable them, lie about them, negate your lived experience of the trauma that they inflicted on you. Those women cause so much harm, and it hurts. Sometimes I would argue even more than the actual trauma itself. When someone who's supposed to protect you literally will deny you your truth because they're still centering men who are dead. And I don't know where her family is. I haven't seen them being what is happening. This man's 10 years older than her, and all of the things are about his family is the one who started that GoFundMe, who's taking care of all this. I don't know where her family is. I'm concerned about that. Great dad was at home with their daughter. One of them, I don't know which one at the time. And again, this is his family that's doing this GoFundMe. I wouldn't want, if I was her family, I would not want those children anywhere around his family. Because maybe he's just a seemingly nice guy who snapped one day, which I find hard to believe, but I also do know that a lot of men will be big king babies and maybe do, coercive control light or something. Or maybe he was just entitled, didn't lay a hand on her, but was not great to her. Maybe mind forked her, maybe financially abused, you know what I mean? Where'd he learn that? How'd he get that way? I'm not saying that it's, his mom's fault or the women in his life's fault, but the fact that they are talking I understand this must be a very hard reality that if you are the mother or sister of a man who took his own life and took the life of the mother of your nieces or the mother of your grandchildren, that must be a hard thing, that he is must be a really hard thing to accept. Maybe they will come around, but I just can't imagine what her family's going through. But there's all these photos. So I went and checked both their. What is crazy to me is as soon as something like this happens, if I was a family member, I would shut down their accounts. Like surely there's a way to break into them and shut them down. But they don't. I don't know. Maybe they just don't know to. But it was so hard watching her account. She's just like has all these like joking about things and all this lighthearted stuff. The thing that so many women do. Just I'm a mom and right? And she was pursuing, she trying to become a doctor. She was starting to have a following on TikTok, I mean, I'm a journalist and a comedian and a storyteller. I've been doing this for a long time. It took me so long to get 10,000 followers. It took me over a year of posting every single day to get 10,000. So for just like a mom to get 10,000, like unless she just went super viral with a video or so, like that's a big deal. People related to her content. People liked what she was sharing. And maybe she was getting some extra income. I forget how many followers you have to become part of the creators. But I mean, TikTok doesn't really pay anyway. I think on a good day, I make $5 a day there, but it's like $2.50 with 188,000 followers. I'm just saying, they're not making much. But so she was doing her own thing. And yet there's so many things that are just like, oh my God, Brandon was loved by everyone for his intense connections and radiant spirit. I don't know about the word intense. When I hear the word intense, I've been called intense because I'm intense. I think anyone who follows me would be like, I'm full of energy, whatever, right? But sometimes intense is like, again. As per his obituary, he found happiness in every moment lived with family, working on cars, fishing, disc golf, and family vacations. This right here tells me he's got those, like, working on cars, great. He's one of those men who spends the whole family's money on cars. Fishing, great. There's a whole, it sounds like he had a lot of hobbies. I'm glad you had all that time. That tells me a lot right there. Anyway. Oh, and then football on top of that. Great. Y'all know I talk about football. Men will just neglect their family because they just have to watch football. This says a family has opened up a GoFundMe campaign in response to this tragedy for the daughters of the couple. So I guess maybe both of them were there during this. Okay, great dad did this in the home with the daughters there. So I went to this dude's page and saw all kinds of crap like this. Being a father is the most fulfilling thing I could have done with my life. I love my girls. But still need a son. That tells me everything I need to know right there. Maybe that's why he did this. How dare you not give me a son and then divorce me? I'm not paying child support for stupid daughters. Happy Father's Day to all the dads that handle your business and all the dads that stepped in. What does that mean? I just want to show one of his other posts just to give you an idea of this man. I stand behind you in line at the store with a smile on my face and a pew-pew under my shirt, and you are none the wiser. Yet you are safer for having me next to you. I won't pew-pew you. My pew-pew won't pull its own trigger. It's secretly holstered with the trigger covered. It can't just go off. However, rest assured that if a lunatic walks into the grocery store and pulls out a rifle, I will draw my pew-pew and protect myself and my family, and therefore protect you and your family. I may get shot before I can pull the trigger, but I won't die in helpless blubbering heap on the floor begging for my life or my child's life. No! If I die, I'll be in a pile of spent shell casings. I won't be the victim. No, you won't be the victim. You are the predator, bro. I choose not to be. And as for you, I don't ask you to carry a pew-pew. If you are not comfortable, then please don't. But I would like to keep my right to choose not to be a helpless victim. Like my wife and children, there is an evil in the world, and if evil has a pew-pew, I want one too. You are the evil. This right here is the United States. This is white men in the United States in like one paragraph. Not all, okay? He literally, his page is full of this crap. Her, did you buy anything? Not me. Enough debates. Go out and get one already. It protects you and your family and everyone in the community. It's been scientific. This stuff, quit being selfish. Quit arguing online and go purchase a pew-pew so you too can unalive your wife. in front of the children. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting a little worked up. I'm going to wrap this up now. These other posts were like, some people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention. He also was a big fan of this guy. He also was already calling himself single. And this was posted by his brother, who I'm not going to show, even though it's on the internet. Same funeral home, same day, same time, more or less, back to back, overlapping. If I was ever unalived by my husband, you better not let that man anywhere near me, even in my death. Like, ah! So you may see stuff like this all over their timeline, and they may be a girl dad who just wants a son. And we may have been taught through pretty much everything from The Sopranos to Breaking Bad to, I don't know, just like everything, that dads, they really just love. I mean, they may put you through hell and they may unalive a bunch of people and put you in danger, put your whole family in danger, and they are the danger, but we still root for them and hate her. I think I'm going to go and do some more videos on Breaking Bad because I have so much to say about that. Yeah. I even hate Jesse now. I used to like him, but I can't stand that guy. I still love him, but like, we're going to deconstruct that show a little bit. I have so much I want to do, which is why, to remind you, please join my Patreon because I'm going to be doing watch parties. My lives are over there, and I put a lot of time and effort and care into these lives, and I interview the most amazing people. I do Zoom meetups with like the top tier, and we just hang out. I do all kinds of stuff over there, and that's literally what lets me be able to do this stuff, is because of the financial support and just the support, the emotional support that I get from people on Patreon, and everybody who is, writes comments and subscribes to my channel and everything. So thank you for all of that. I couldn't do this without all of y'all. But I am done with dad. I'm done with dad. I know some amazing dads, and I now have an amazing dad. And I think that is why I am becoming increasingly pissed that it's taken us so long to get to the point where, like, dad is the one doing unspeakable harm across the world in so many families. But I'm done with the good dad. Stop letting men hide behind the dad. Because statistically, they are the most dangerous person in that house. For all women and children, statistically, dad. Sometimes uncle, sometimes grandpa, stepdad, too, are the most dangerous people that can be in that home. Do not leave your children with men unless they have proven they know how to take care of them, and they also don't hate you. Because if they hate you, they will do that to your kid just to get back at you. Anyway, and if they have addictions, don't leave them alone with them, please. Not unsupervised. I speak from experience. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you heard the comment song. Like, comment, share. Hit notifications if you want to be, notified. And join my Patreon even if you can't afford it, because there's a free tier and you'll at least get updates on my work when I publish stuff. So every once in a while I'll throw some whatever out there for everybody. And in case the algorithm doesn't show you my stuff, you won't forget that I exist. And say a little whatever. I don't know. I don't know if you pray. I'm not religious, but I have a spiritual life. We're going to take him to the vet again this week to see what's going on. Is it a brain tumor or is it just something else? They can't figure it out yet. Anyway, take care of yourselves out there and stop giving men, especially dads, the benefit of the doubt. And let me know if you heard the comment song. This comment song is Uncle Traveling Matt edition, but it's Melanie. Ha, 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 Fraggle Rock reference. Ha, 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 comment song. This is unhinged because that's what I do here. If you're new here, I took this in Wyoming, where I used to live many places. This is when misery on a road trip. I wouldn't suggest going there. Anyway, weird lawn ornaments all over people in the United States yard. Hey, unhinged comment song. This one I took from my backyard in Taos. New Mexico. Yeah, that's a bouncy house with the most dramatic background ever. Comment song. If you're new here, I've traveled a lot. I have so much content on Patreon of my travels, and so much is coming soon. This is another thing I took a photo of. Tickles, the gas station. What the fork? Yeah, hey, I think this was in West Virginia, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. Trust in God at the Quality Inn. I think this was Nashville. No, somewhere in Tennessee. I don't remember, because this crap is all over the U.S. Hey, come and go gas station. What the hell? I love that title. Comment song, travel edition. Please follow my Patreon. Did you see the travel come and go version? Et voilà.